Hello? Hello? Oh, hi. Hi there. Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see a problem with the model. Let's see if I can get that fixed before we do anything else. I have an idea why it happened. I was trying to do stuff and it didn't work. And now that was disabled. Great. Great. Now my mouth works again. It's always great when your mouth works, right? I guess that's just like a small little extra benefit for us. What am I looking for? Hold on. That's the one. This is the other. And we are going to change the screen for you too. Great. I suppose I will turn on the BuddyBot. Because we generally appreciate the BuddyBot. Where did Kerbal go? There it is. There it is. It's back. Okay. Now, if I recall correctly, we had looked at mission control last time. There were a whole bunch of... Hold on. There was a whole bunch of tourists that I thought we were planning on dealing with. I thought we were going to do a tourist mission. But I don't even see the tourist option available. There are no tourists. I legit came to do tourists, and there are no tourists. Complete the Mun 4 rally. Duna, the Mun, Jewel, and Tylo. I don't know if I am even capable of doing that. Gosh. Gosh. A new orbital station around Minmus. With lots of fuel. Docking port antenna. Okay, hold on though. I feel I need to change the title of the stream though, because can I even do that from inside of... Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't update that one. How exciting. Hold on. This is still then Rabbit's Comm network. Whoops. That's fine. That's fine. We'll make do. So what we're gonna do is start with this orbital station around Minmus. It wants me to take a lot of monopropellant and set a facility that'll support 7 Kerbins. So we'll start with that one. And then what else do we want? Recover this part. Where is it? It's small. It's somewhere on Kerbin, and you just want me to go get it? Interesting. I don't think that's it. Science data from the surface of Minmus. Oh, hey, Ducky. Welcome. I'm just picking the missions. So far, we have an orbital station around Minmus. And I'm debating if I even want any of this other stuff. Recover that specific Kerbin. The problem with recovery is then I absolutely have to bring it back. And I don't think I'm planning a return immediately after the Minmus. Like, I think I'm going to take the Minmus station and launch it really, really far away. So, like, this is probably going to be a manned mission to Duna to build up Rabbit's comm network. So I actually don't think I even want any of the other missions that I have now. So I'm oh, I have 2 active? Oh, I took the ferry. Oh, I didn't realize. Gosh darn it, Ben. Well, I appreciate you being here, Ducky. Okay. So what I'm going to do then, since I do in fact have this tourist mission, I'm gonna take this orbital station that we have to build, and we're gonna give it like a drop pod or 2. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. How much time do I have? 12 years. You're 17. Okay. Okay. Let's do both of these things with a single ship. We will complete both of these missions with 1 craft. So that is, the station will have to have at least 1,000 units of monopropellant and 4,000 units of liquid fuel once I am in orbit of Minmus. And what did we say? 7 Kerbals? 7 Kerbals. Okay. So first off, we're gonna take our initial crew, which will do this job, and since they're going to be coming back, I think they have to because they're taking tourists. So since we're taking tourists, I feel like we recently got something that will hold those tourists. No, I was just eyeing up a part in the Science Center last time. Okay. So if that's the way of things, how big is this? This is too big. Too big for my liking. Then we need to go with a fairly standard rocket design. This is going to be a messed up re-entry with the number of Kerbals I have to take. Where is my tourist pod? Can hold 2, and I have to make 7 Kerbals in total fit. Can I put a tourist pod in here? Will that fit? I feel like that's almost cheating, but I want to do it. That's probably a bad idea, because then I can... Interesting. Okay. Because that only allows for 3... How many tourists? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't need the engineer. So I need space for 4 more Kerbals. But I actually have 5 that I want to take. So I'm also going to leave Bob behind. Actually, we're going to let Valentina do this. Valentina's going to go. But how am I going to stick the extra Kerbals in? I've got an idea. I've got an idea on this engineering design. I don't know how well it's going to work. It kind of feels wrong, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's going to be absolutely terrible for aerodynamics when it comes to re-entry. So we're really going to have to strap it in correctly. No wiggle wobbles allowed. And then from there, let's say I'm going to put a tourist pod. Oh, it won't let me put it on the side like this? I bet we have some science we can go spend. Don't even bother saving that. That's terrible. Yeah, we've got some... Ooh, we don't have a lot of science. It's not actually enough to change anything, is it? Oh, it's got that hitchhiker storage container I was literally talking about. We may as well also get this mobile science lab. Yeah, we're gonna get that. That'll all be very helpful. And then we've spent all of our science, and we can do much better now. We don't have to have some wonky-fonky design. Because we can take that storage container right there. And then that... Whoops, I clicked away by accident. Then we can load in all of the tourists. And we actually have one extra seat, which is always nice. And then underneath of that, I'm gonna stick our payload bay that I really need. Oh, this is supposed to have docking ports on it too. I gotta make sure it's got a docking port. Do we have ladders now, right? Ladders that I can just put right there underneath of the ladder. So that way there's a ladder that goes the whole way down. I don't know if we'll need it. But it'll cut down on the danger of spacewalks. And making Kerbin safer is always a good thing. And the final thing that I wanted to make sure is here is that. And then I'll put a heat shield on it. That's too big. Okay. Now that, in theory, will be intended for re-entry. Because we have to come home with all of the tourists. So we need a probe core. We need our control unit. And we need a whole whack of batteries. Great. Great, that takes care of the battery situation. Let's throw some solar panels up here. And throw them onto an action group. Wouldn't want to miss that. Toggle those solar panels. Can I put another ladder right there? Oops. Definitely don't want that many. Okay. Now we can still walk down to the bottom if we absolutely have to. And I'll take a sip from my trusty Vault 13 canteen. Okay, so in theory, this comes screeching back into Kerbin. And we are perfectly willing to leave the debris behind. Oh, we need more parachutes, and I know it. Hold on. Let's get 2 of these parachutes right there. And we'll get 2 of these parachutes right there. And we will split those so that the drogue chutes go first. Great, now we should have the parachutes because we don't want to explode when we come back. Now that has room supporting 7 Kerbals, right? That's what we confirmed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. We've got all the tourists. We've got all the tourists. So this craft, let's slap a flag on it. Is there a bigger one? Bigger. Good enough. Let's slap that flag on it. And some fireworks. Ooh, that's so much bigger than I expected. Can this doesn't even need to open. Hold on. We don't need that many. We're just gonna put it right there. And it'll be fine. It will be fine. Let's just put them onto an action group. Just launch those. And next, that way we've got some fireworks for our tourists, right? They're gonna love that. Now, this docking port situation. I think I need to lose this front nose parachute, which is going to require me to put on 2 extra other parachutes for re-entry. Where did I cover there? Nothing important? It's fine. It's fine. And that way, I will have a docking port. Coupling. Clamp. There we go. Now we have a docking port. We will need some RCS controls. So let's put like 4 of these there. We'll go with that. And we'll say it's good enough. And then we'll put 4 more down there. And now we need a whole lot of RCS fuel. So what kinds? How much does this have? Monopropellant, 750. So let's take 2 of those and call that the monopropellant we need. Because one of our requirements was 1,000 units of monopropellant. 1,000 of those. And then I'll need 4,000 units of liquid fuel. Because we just said that had 750, so I've got an extra 50% of the RCS I require. And now I need 4,000 liquid. So I need at least 2 of these. Because that would give me 22,000, 4,000, 5,000. That's a little bit extra. So now here's the important question, is do I have an engine that is comfortable pushing that? Let's start with this poodle, because it has always done me well. In a vacuum. 0.29 thrust to weight. That is absolutely unacceptable. What about this mainsail? Lots of thrust, lots of power. It'll even take an extra one. The problem with that, though, is I'm saying that I'm going to put this station, we're calling this a station, and I have to put it into orbit around Minmus with all of this fuel, like all of this, right? So that 4,000 I'm just having a brain moment where I'm thinking about if I want this ship to split into multiple parts afterwards, because then I could lose the tourists. Oh wow, it's that time already. Hold on. I gotta work out a little bit. Gotta do at least a little bit. Whoa, tracking's gone wild. Hold on. Everything's wrong. Hold on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So I'm just gonna accept this. This is what it is. It's gonna have to be what it is, and we are now going to put enough fuel on this so that it is capable of reaching Minmus. We're gonna put this rocket on around Minmus. And that'll basically operate just as a test. We'll accept that we're gonna waste a lot of this fuel, and in the future missions, we'll probably replace the tourist container with the science lab. And it will attach to an antenna component when it's at whatever its destination is. Actually, I've got some thoughts, because I could put that there and that underneath, right? And then I could build an antenna component right on top before I go. We'll just leave that fairing right in there for our own nefarious purposes later. And we will still commit to the idea that I need to put this into orbit around Kerbin. I mean, I'm going to put it into Minmus, but I don't get to use any of its fuel to do that. I just have to build rockets. Because I should just be able to use the mainsail here as well. right? And have positive thrust. So this right here can get some lift. I need another 2-ish thousand delta V to make it work. Can I put nose toppers and maybe even strut this into something like this right now? That's great. That is terrific. That's a little bit less wiggle happening already. I can see it. And we'll go there. And we're gonna have to go like that. And probably also, just to be safe, go like that. Now, how am I going to put a whole lot of extra rockets on the side? These are all gonna go off together. And it's a pretty straightforward idea, right? Just a whole bunch of thoroughbreds. But that's obviously a bad spot. What about that though? Does this have the kind of positive thrust we need? Yes, it does. But I don't think that's collectively enough. So this is gonna end up feeling stupid. And it might be. It might actually be stupid. The amount of struts I'm gonna have to throw on with this plan itself is crazy. $15,000, $3,000, $4,000-ish. That might be okay. That's a might. That is definitely a might. And I'm gonna launch it fast. It just gets a little more Kerbin each time, doesn't it? And those. Hold on, that's the wrong one, I know it. Hold on. I can't get it in the right place. There's gotta be a way. There it is. Okay, now we put all of that together. I feel like the number didn't update. But I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be the way of things. We gotta add on some wings to control ourselves. We gotta make sure we don't go too wildy wild. But I'm sure that we will. We're gonna have troubles controlling this. I can see it happening already. When we disengage from everything, it's gonna be an explosive time. Wait a second. Oh, I see why I have a problem here. Okay, that absolutely makes sense. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Mistakes were made. Those go there. And those also go down there. These ones also go down there. Okay, does this have positive thrust? No, this doesn't. That's a problem. That means we don't quite have enough. What if I drop that down 2 notches? And this down 2 notches. Now I've got positive fuel. And the one... no, I also gotta drop these down 2 notches. This is certainly not going to be the most efficient thing of all time, but I do believe it's going to accomplish what we're setting out to do, which is take these tourists to see what a new gen space station could be like. That's what we're telling them, at least. We're telling them that this could function as a space station. It could be the beginnings of something amazing. But we need your funding to help make it happen. How expensive is this going to be? This is going to be less expensive than the mission rewards. I promise this mission will be profitable. Okay? And I will go and do math to prove that ahead of time if I have to. I do absolutely require the support of all of our investors. So let me know if you need more information. Otherwise, that's the number. So we can afford it, and I'm convinced it's going to be profitable. Let's call this profit station expensive. Did we have the struts all in there? I have some concerns about strutting, because honestly, strutting is going to be the most risky part of all of this. Oh, that didn't work right. Trying to get... Oh no! Oh, I can't even just undo that. Oh, I'm so upset. Okay, the struts still look like they're mostly all there. I seem to have misplaced the one that I was trying to fix, but... it's right here. Here we go. And I just wanted it in like that. And we're good. Cheaper than the last wobbly one. I thought the last one was like 400k. I think so too. I even thought I was about to say it, but then I second guessed myself. And I didn't. So. Alright, I've got some wings pointed in some random ass directions. Let's put an extra one right there, because this one's wildin'. Whew. Welp. I'm gonna hit the button. I'm sending us out to the launch unless you have any further questions. Oh, actually, I'll put one more set of struts in. These ones up to there. And these ones up to there. Hold on, we gotta double check the staging. Okay. So at first, these bottom 12 rockets are gonna fire. They're gonna give us positive thrust. And they're gonna get us just a little bit into the air. Then. Oh, why don't we have the things that disconnect them? See, this is exactly why we're looking. We're gonna disconnect those 4. These 4. And these 4. Right? We're gonna disconnect there. We're gonna disconnect there. There. Right? So we'll disconnect all of those and fire the ones immediately above. Those are still just the solid boosters on the side here. So we're gonna fire the solid boosters. The solid boosters are gonna go. And when we are ready to disconnect those solid boosters from the side, we will have those inner 4 columns go. And those inner 4 columns should, in theory, get us basically into orbit around Kerbin. They will eventually break off and become debris, while the upper stage goes. If all is well, this stage may put us into orbit around Minmus, but it is supposed to arrive with enough fuel to satisfy the mission parameters, which would be 4,000 liquid units of fuel. So we should still have at least 4,000 units of liquid fuel when we arrive at Minmus. Once we have done that, we will do a flyby of the Mun. I didn't see this guy said land on the Mun. Oh no. I'm not about to land this on the Mun. Actually, I might. Yeah, we're gonna try and land this sucker precariously, I will say, on the Mun. But it will be just that part, and I don't have landing legs that are big enough. These are my biggest landing legs, and they will not reach below the engine. So we are going to precariously place ourselves down in the Mun. I'm not excited about that. That's actually something I didn't realize was going to happen. But I am going to go. I'm doing it. I am doing it. I don't want to make the separate lander. That's the problem. I wanted this to be one solid mission. And the tourist doesn't say he wants to get out. So he can stay in the ship. We can balance it precariously. Everything will be fine. Also, I've just realized that I have no antenna at all. So we're going to put an antenna in there. Just a small little antenna. beep boop. Alright. 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 I'm telling you. This may be expensive, but it's going to be very profitable if it all works. I might kill 4 or 5 tourists by accident if it goes poorly. That'll be real bad. But I think that this can happen. So, we're on the launch pad. I am as set up and prepared as I'm going to get. So, throttle up. We're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. Blast off! For the record, we have 200K worth of money at the start of this mission after paying for this ship. So I'm going to prove that this is going to be profitable. As long as these rockets don't fall down and smash up the space station, we're going to be fine. And if it doesn't work, well, then I have a very hard financial limit to try and do better, don't I? And look, it's not even wibble wobbles yet. We have stability. Let's put that back up. So you can just see my funds, my reputation, and my science. Oh, hey Kane, welcome to the party. We are taking a bunch of tourists to show them what could be a potential planetary transfer vessel. We're calling it a space station, and it's going to hang out at Minmus, and it's going to do something wild after that it is absolutely not designed to do, but I am planning on touching it down on the Mun on the way home. Kane's arm too. Yeah, because we left Kane's arm without any fuel, so it doesn't get to be a rescue vehicle right now. We may have to redo it. But actually, to be honest, Ducky has already raised concerns about this design, so Ducky's rescue vehicle might have to come before Kane's arm too. But yo, the stability of this craft, those extra struts really did a number, didn't they? But as this Karnan fellow, I didn't realize he was planning on landing on the Mun when I designed the ship. So I probably should have done them in separate vehicles. Alright, now we're about to test the staging. If I messed up staging, we're about to find out. Okay, that's a good start. We managed to escape most of the explosions. We still have stability. I believe the stage separation was a great success. You like that, Ducky? I like doing it. Especially when you as a viewer warn me about something and I argue against you. I really want to own up to the fact that I was wrong. So that's basically how mission names happen. Is I did something silly, somebody told me better, and I came back 2 days later to fix it, and I remembered who it was. Although this ship has started leaning west. I don't know if you can see that close enough, but I can see it. And I am definitely afraid to start the gravity turn right now because of the number of boosters I'm going to have to toss to the side. I'm hearing those rockets hit the ground. Oh my gosh, look at all the trash I've left. Oh my gosh. Those are just all sitting on the ground. We're gonna have to pick those up. We are going to start the turn real soon, I promise. I just want to drop these boosters here. They're about to fall. See, now that I got past that, I'm perfectly comfortable turning hard to the side. See, we did fine. Great. No wiggle wobbles. We're still going. We're gonna clear the atmosphere eventually. Oh, let's turn off all these green lines. I don't want any of them. I want to set Min-Miss as my target. It's a glorious day for Kerbin, and therefore the world. Oh, hey, buddy. Yeah, I could do that. Sorry about the tracking. Tracking's getting messy. Squats. 10 squiddy squats. Justification to drink more coffee while we make this blue circle bigger. Yeah, I have streamed other things. Last month, I was playing Fallout New Vegas, and I try and periodically do art streams, but I end up doing art in the afternoons, and I feel like I have time to stream in the mornings, so sometimes I do that, and I'm certainly open to doing other things. Playing other games. Because eventually, these orbital maneuvers in Kerbin will take so long that I will need to play another game in the meantime. All right, let's get to like right around there. And and try and circularize from around 100 kilometers. What's all this? Contract parameters complete. Okay. I did make the model. Yeah. Yeah, I made the model myself. From scratch. In Blender. And I'm really excited to tell you about a new trick I recently found out. But I gotta do this burn first. Hold on. Close enough. Close enough to 100. I just found out how to make color changes happen. So, hold on, let me click away for a sec. Let me click to here. So like right now, like I told you how like I can go like make him smile, or I can make him angry, right? Or I could do this weird thing with his eyes and mix and match kind of thing. I figured out how to make color changes happen. Oh, you'll even notice that now when I hit the smile, it goes slower instead of automatic because I was messing around with something. And yeah, long story short, I figured out how to make color changes happen. So on the next model, I'm gonna be able to make it like blush or get like angry and that sort of thing. Anyways, okay, now we are basically at the ascending node, which means we're going up, and I want to go down, so I need the anti-normal, and we're going to start that in just a moment. Although again, this one reaction wheel way out here is not that effective, in part because it's so far away from the center of gravity. I am currently not really convinced I have enough. Hold on. Okay, that's 12,000 units of liquid fuel. And I need to make sure I have at least 4. I'm not convinced I brought enough fuel. Oh, hey, Red. Thanks for lurking. I think I'm just getting ready to fail my contract, even though Ducky warned me. Oh, I feel the train coming. Okay. That puts us on an even plane with Minmus. Now I just need to figure out where is Minmus. Where is Minmus right now? Well, Minmus is over there. So let's say, for argument's sakes, I want to be able to shoot out this way. And hit Minmus as soon as I can. How much fuel is that going to take? Ooh, there's my flyby of the Mun. No, because I have to land on the Mun. I have to land on the Mun, so we're going to come to the Mun after. We have to stop at Minmus first. Okay, let's shrink this. I need to see what this is looking like. Because I don't need to be close to Minmus. I just need to reach orbit. Okay. The difference here is negligible. So I'm just going to come out like that. I actually think doing it at a slightly different point in the orbit will be the better choice. So what if I pulled it a little closer? Could slow down a little more. Because it could be like there. And we just slow it down. That way it takes less out of me. That wasn't a lot less. But it was something. So we're basically gonna have to plan for that, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna get to like this side here, go prograde until we have our maneuver. Great. This is gonna work out really well. I'd say to stay over 4K, you gotta optimize. That's true, Ducky. We do really, really need to optimize this. So like that 15 meter per second difference could actually be quite meaningful. So I'm gonna go with this. Because this maneuver node is basically just prograde. I don't know if I'm gonna turn fast enough. Hold on. Did we open our solar panels? Yeah. Good. Good, good. Okay. How much liquid fuel did we say we still have? 10,000. 10,000, you say? I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Ducky. You warned me, and I'm nervous, and you will be the commander of the rescue vessel. All right, well, it's time to do this burn, so throttles up. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this liquid fuel, which is currently at 8,000. We gotta use less than half of it. That's an excellent question. I think we could just treat this as a tourist ship and break even, with the one exception being I didn't realize I had to stop on the Mun. Like, I have to land on Mun for one of them. I didn't realize that. So I think I'm going to have to do a second ship for that part. What do we still have? We still have 6,000. It shouldn't take that much to stop, right? There's no way there's near enough to land on the Mun. You're right. But I think we can orbit Minmus. I think we'll be fine with orbiting Minmus, because it shouldn't take a lot. No, that's not going to invalidate, because some of the contract parameters have already been completed. right? So, where's our funds? Our funds, we've already made back like 10% of the cost of the ship. Like, we've already gotten paid for that part. And if this station here can just land in Minmus orbit properly, we'll get paid a lot for that. We're doing the flyby of Minmus and orbiting around Minmus, so that'll be Miltops complete. Flyby of Minmus, flyby of the Mun. I'm going to have to hit the Mun on the way home, and that's not going to invalidate the contract. This stuff is allowed to happen on separate trips. So, all that to say, where is Minmus? If I add a maneuver, no, I have to be speeding up to day. An hour, 18 days. Minmus encounters coming. This is fine. Why don't I have the encounter with Minmus anymore? What happened? Why did it disappear? That's a problem for me, everybody. See, it moved, and that sucks. Now I gotta... I'm upset. What I said, Ducky, is that I can do the different contract parts on different ships. So I think that we can still manage to get enough either out of the tourists that are here and we'll get everything they need, or by getting the station into orbit correctly. But I got distracted because it said I was going to have an encounter, then it just disappeared and said no. So now I have to burn a little bit of extra fuel, which I really did not want to have to do, to try and make this new maneuver happen. That ought to be enough. I still have 6,000 liquid fuel, so we're still really in a good position. All right, now we got some more contract parameters completed. You can see our funds have gone up to 300. So we've gotten a bunch of that extra money back. We're gonna turn so that we're going backwards, because we gotta slow down here. This station was supposed to orbit Minmus. So that's the plan. We just gotta be able to turn this into an orbit without using a third of our fuel to do it, which should be good. We should be able to do it. Great. Now we have a Minmus orbit. We just need to maintain stability for this extra 10 seconds. And this is a space station. Great. This is that orbital station around Minmus. Complete. And you can see our funds now are over 600. We have made profit. And we still need to take these tourists back home. What do we have to do? We have to fly by the Mun. This dude wants us to land on the Mun or orbit the Mun. And I should say both. This other one wants an orbit and a flyby. And this other one wants an orbit and a flyby. So I need to at least do the orbit and the flyby of the Mun. The question I have for you, though, is my ship currently has 3,300 Delta V. Hold on. Actually, let me move this for a second. Look at that. Do you think that I can land on the Mun? Keep in mind, I do not have landing gear. Should we try? Well, we got to get into the orbit around the Mun first, right? We're going to get to our orbit around the Mun and then decide if we're going to try and touch down. But this is not a landing vessel. We did not engineer this to land. At best, we can hope to lightly touch down for the sake of saying we did it. And then we'll just dip right out. Do you think we could do all of that? Also, let's decide when we get there. Okay, we're going to get to the Mun and then decide. If I was there and I started to burn in that direction, is this putting me on course with the Mun? No. It is not. Will this? No, it doesn't look like it. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see here. If I was just right there, and I went prograde. Do we get a shrinking orbit? Oh, that's what we want. We can fine-tune that after, because that's at least our flyby. That's a periapsis, so we could orbit from that point and then decide. So this is happening in soon, and that was just prograde. Hold on, let me zoom out. If I pull that in, no. Timing is important here. That is collision course with the Mun. I think that's the maneuver we're going to go for. Point to the maneuver node, please. And when we are pointed in the right direction, we will warp that hour or so time ahead. Almost there. All right. All right. I'm gonna do it. All right, we have our Mun flyby lined up. Let's warp way over there. I don't need these resources open anymore. All right, now we've got our flyby of the Mun. We're gonna get to like here and turn retrograde because this needs to be orbiting around the Mun. Simply flying by is not enough. Ooh, a polar orbit of the Mun, you say? What a choice. We'll just get a little closer. And we'll start this slowdown. All right, I see the buddy bot. So the buddy bot wants me to do the squats. We have done our flyby of the Mun. We've done our orbit of the Mun. There is just one extra Karnand wanted to land on the Mun. So do we attempt that now? Or do we just send Karnand with another ship later? Because we've made, like, What did we have? 500,000 funds, and now we have 7. Plus we still have to return with everybody. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I did my squatty squats. So do we think that we could tap down onto the mun? See, currently, let's look at it this way. Currently, we have 660 meters per second worth of velocity. So if we were to cut that all and then put it back, because we have to get back to here, that's already going to take 1,200. Which would leave me with 2,000 meters of delta V to fight the mun's gravity down and then back up. And then get home to Kerbin. Huh. We could realistically just safely come and do a science mission with a proper lander and finish that tourism contract on a separate launch. Or we could just try and make it all happen in a risky sort of way. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. And this is the high point of my orbit. So I could actually... I don't know. If I wanted to... Well, I'm going that direction. Okay, hold on. Hmm. 200, you say? And then I'll pick up speed on my fall. I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna try and tippy tap down somewhere in the sun, somewhere that I can see. All right, I'm doing it. Please wish me luck. We're gonna do this the risky way. I just want that to be solidly in the light. Whew. I'm already worried. Go for it. I'm gonna be the reason you crash and the recovery ship. Ducky, you absolutely want me to send a recovery ship. Excellent. We're gonna warp here. Now remember, we only need to touch down enough to complete the contract parameter. So I've cleared all of that so that when it happens, we'll be able to clearly see the message show up there without having to worry too much about it. Definitely need to switch the ship retrograde and get ready for this. So I guess this can happen just as reasonably now as at any other moment. 40,000. Let's get a little bit lower. I don't want to spend too much time fighting them on gravity. I know I gotta spend a little bit. I'm actually far more concerned about surface values than orbital ones now, because now we're committing to going to the surface. Need to cut all that horizontal speed now. Now, if you're following along with the mission, we just have to gracefully touch down. And we have a lot of extra fuel. Good yawny stretch. Oh, I know why the tracking got weird there. Sorry. Alright. The ground is 15 kilometers away. We don't need to wait forever. We just need to be not going too fast. Carnid for sure is definitely loving it, and so is Valent. Yeah, all three of these that we can see right now. They're totally digging it. Four kilometers to the ground. It's gonna happen, team. Two kilometers to the ground. 1 kilometer to the ground. I need to find my shadow. It's way in... Oh, it doesn't help that I'm landing on the edge of a crater. Ugh. It's fine. It's only 700 meters to the ground. Yo, landing legs would have been so cool, wouldn't they? We could have stopped here and everything. $400 meters to the ground. $300. $200 meters to the ground. Oh, it didn't count it. Oh, and I'm having trouble controlling my rocket. I need to get up a little bit so that I can fix this. Oh, my reaction wheel sucks. I don't know if I can do this proper. I need a lot of height so that I can fall down and fix this in a gentler sort of way. Oh no! No! Well, at least the contract parameters are complete. We've landed. Well, like, heck yeah, right? Yay! Yay! Okay then. Well, first off, Valentina, could we please have a crew report? Valentina, GTFO for a minute. Just let go. Is there a Munstone nearby? We gotta make the best of this, right? EVA report. Gosh dang it, we're definitely sending Ducky's rescue mission. We're so close, though. Charlie, you are right. They are alive. Oh, jeez, I stopped paying attention. Looked at the wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on. Because I think that right there is a Munstone. That Valentina can grab for us while we're here. They are alive, Charlie. Every single crew member survived the impact with the Mun. Is this a Munstone or a regular old rock that is too big? That would be a regular rock that is not relevant. Where's the ship? Okay, back to the ship. I didn't even think it was 17 meters per second. I thought it was like less than 10. On the plus side, though, look at all that debris we left. Trash pandas love debris, don't we? Oh, hold on. Almost forgot something important. Do you have an EVA report already? Oh, cancel. You already have a surface sample? Yeah. Plant the flag. Ducky's rescue beacon. Ducky Dice, you helped my father in the Clone Wars, and I beg you to help us now. Help us, Ducky. You are our only hope. Alright. I've placed the beacon in a droid. Oh, you don't get to just reach up from here? No, you're gonna make this difficult? Bored. Also though, now that you're in, get back out. Get back out and take a new EVA report. Because now you're on the surface. You're gonna board. We are going to review our stored data. Beam that one back. Beam that one back. And just hang on to that. Okay. What else do we need? We need to extend that solar panel. And probably this one too. Maybe that one. And that way we don't run out of power. All right. Let's head back to the space station. The space center, I should say. Now. How are we going to design this rescue mission? We don't get to change our science level at all. But I think we are for once finally going to need a lander ship that can go down, grab everybody, and then come back. I think we need a rover on wheels. Because the tourists don't get to EVA. So I need to dock into that ship, either with a grabber claw or with the docking port. So I think we're building a rover that could... what are we going to do? What are we even going to do? I need... How are we going to do it? With this thing. We're going to start here. Right? We're going to have this. And we have hinges and hydraulics now. So what I ultimately want to see, what I really want to see, Let's say, for argument's sakes, so if these are the biggest rover wheels I have, right? This thing needs to drive over, get the tourists, bring them back. The only other alternative is going to be to land directly over top of it, which in itself is going to be really hard. But I think if I could use something like these robotics, I'm thinking how do I want this thing to grab the vessel that needs rescuing? Let's say it's like that, right? Because, like, I want to be able to drive up to the side of it. And then, like, extend that out to grab it. That's what I want to be able to do. So I just want to put a grabber claw on the end of that. Advanced Grabber Junior. Ooh, definitely the Junior's fine. So, like, that gets armed, right? I need that to be higher up, because that feels too low to the ground. And it has to get clipped in right there. What if I moved this that way? And I moved this that way, so that it's at least out there. And then close that in. Doesn't that just look ugly? How would I even put this down? How would I do this? How am I gonna do this? I don't love it. Might actually rather just put it on the side or the back like that. But then it doesn't angle shift. So if that's up like that, put that there. That just still feels too long. It's also gonna have balance issues. It's gonna tip. This isn't gonna work. What to do? Let's put it on the front. It's not quite centered, but we're making the progress. Ugh, it's all messing up on me. There we go, nice and centered. Super inexpensive. Yeah, Ducky, you're supposed to have a lot more encouragement than that. Of course we're gonna be able to do it. It's just going to be tricky. And we need to figure out first off how we're gonna transfer them from one vessel to the other. And I'm not convinced I'm gonna be able to design an effective rover. Because I bet this thing here is just gonna tip over on the launch pad. Watch, it's just gonna tip. Oh, it hasn't fallen over? That's exciting, because we'll arm that doodad, right? Turn to docking mode. No, SAS only. There we go. Now we could drive this thing around, right? We can drive this thing poorly. It's gonna handle terribly on the Mun. Right? So we're just gonna have to put a solar panel on here. Right? Because like this happens just fine. We'll toggle our brakes. Our brakes will work just fine. Right? Our brakes will work, right? And then we can always extend that out further so we don't have to hit it exactly. And if we get stuck, we can use it to help us move out. So in theory, this vessel will be able to go get the tourists and bring them back. And by bring them back, I mean it'll take the tourists out of Vessel 1 and put them... Can I just stack these? Ooh, I could build a train. Interesting choice. What if I do it like that? I have no idea how I'm gonna put this onto the ground first. We gotta figure that out first. We gotta figure out how this vessel here gets placed on the Mun beside a vessel that can also leave the Mun. So how do I get that? Actually, there's a reason that I would like a second hinge facing the other way, like that. And the reason for that is that if I need to point up to reach a ship... Ooh, that also lets me store this away a little bit more conveniently so that the whole thing feels more compact. So then I just need to find a way to put a bigger ship on top of this. Which ultimately, I feel... How are we gonna do it? I'm going to, stack separator right between them. And I need something like this to go on its side. I want I don't think this is going to work the way I want because it needs to be built in a different direction. Because that's not just going to clip on the way I want it to. None of those things will. What I need is a structural adapter. Like this one. Because, yeah, I'm just gonna have to do that for a second. I might have to come and change that in a second because that's still not gonna work the way I want it to. But I need to put that there so that I can reroute to that thing. Because what I really want is that. I want that like that. Right? And I want that radial attachment port. I want two of them just right covering those windows. So that can take that stack separator. And I also need 4 of the biggest landing struts that I can have. Because that is going to be... No, hold on, because I need an engine somewhere, don't I? I don't need... That's just going to easily let me drop these off of the side. And if I put, let's say, my favorite Poodle engine there, because it's the smallest one, and it's the right size, then I need these landing legs to be low enough Now here's a big question. If I drop these rovers, are they gonna break? Ducky's rescue craft. Oh, okay, I understand. Jeb, get in. Oh, I understand. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Now Jeb goes in. Now Jeb goes in. What are you talking about? Are these not manned command? I don't know what the problem here is. So let's just slap some batteries on it. Because it worked fine before. An antenna. Just gonna leave those there. Crew, please. Jebediah. What's this? This is the lander can. Trashing. And actually, let's try this. Let's see. Now, there's only one question at the moment. If I drop these rovers, like if I just straight drop them, do they break? Because I need to be able to drop them from this height. Let's say I want to control from here. That is my main vessel. I'm decoupling that. The stack separator blew up. Okay. So we will switch from the stack separator to a regular decoupler. Can I revert? Yeah, great. Okay, so one minor change to make sure we avoid the explosion. Okay, first off, I can't use the stack separator. I need to, or I can't use the decoupler. What was, no, I need to use a decoupler. Not the stack separator. Because I need it to stay attached to the main ship. Because now look, here, I'm just gonna save it real quick, launch it, and I'm gonna make sure that I can drop it without the explosions. And then we'll put solar panels onto it, and we'll get it ready for its mission. Yeah. Well, realistically, the rover itself was okay. It was just that stack separator blew up. So we're just going to use the decoupler, and the decoupler will stay attached to the ship instead. Watch. Decouple. No explosions. Decouple. No explosions. Great. That's fine. We will activate the brakes first, though. Revert back to the vehicle assembly. Okay, time to make some minor adjustments. Those are going to retracted. And I need solar panels. I need solar panels on the sides of that. And some on the top. Then I need a couple of batteries. Don't necessarily need a lot, but I definitely need a couple. And that should be sufficient. Oh, ooh, there's... I want to add a probe core onto it, along with an antenna. But I don't know where. I'm afraid that's going to mess with it. I could put it on the butt. It's actually probably not a bad idea. Pull that off. Maybe let's say we'll take an extra battery first. Then that thing. Then that. And we will throw an antenna on it. Right there. Right? Then we don't need those right there. Then those are drone rovers, which means I don't even need the pilot to go get them, which means that the 2 lander cans, like 2 trips to wherever we're going, will get everybody. But we need to remember that this whole thing has to land. So what I actually need first is some rocket fuel. That can all go away. Those are irrelevant. What's my thrust to weight ratio? On the MUN. MUN counts as in a vacuum. So that's a lot. This vessel should then, in theory, with this amount of fuel, have no problems landing on the MUN. We will have to get it there separately. And there's one other thing I'm gonna do. This reaction wheel. That. And then I need the return vessel. I need the actual part that is going to re-enter the atmosphere, which means I need a decoupler. Then I need a heat shield. That's too big. Then I need... That's 3 of 5. How many passengers does this hold? I feel like it holds 2. It's the wrong shape though. And that would only hold the 1, so that's 3, 4. That would just be the tourists. I could just drop the tourists home. But if I am going to do that, if I am just going to drop the tourists home, I absolutely need a drone control bay here. And my drone control bay is usually pretty straightforward. I need a reaction wheel in there. And that reaction wheel might actually mess me up pretty bad later. But I'm taking my chances. And it also needs an antenna. Okay, we're gonna close that up. And we're gonna just add a little tiny bit of science to these things. Not because I think we're gonna use them. I've turned this in a weird way. Hold on. Ooh, like this light scanning arm? We should put that on the side. Yeah? Yeah, I want that scan. I want it to be able to scan like that. That's some extra bib of science that we don't normally get. Put a thermometer right there. Having trouble getting it. Maybe just put that goo right there so we've got a little. Put a goo on the other side. So that we could also use this for scientific purposes. Now we need parachutes for those tourists. Those tourists need parachutes. That's one. And that's gonna be 2. That's all the parachutes. The parachutes are last. Hold on, where's this? That goes up there. Staging is such a problem. Okay. We are assuming we don't need drogue chutes. That should be fine. We should be able to bring these tourists in like that without a problem. So that'll bring the tourists home. It'll leave Mun, it'll bring the tourists home. Now I need this whole thing. Before I do that, hold on. I need a new decoupler. As big as it can be. And underneath of it, I need the biggest fairing I can have. Can I build... No, I can't make the fairing big enough for this. What do we do about my fairing issue? Let's start by strutting these things in. Say that's gonna strut up like that. Gonna strut up like that. Let's save that and double check that everything's still happy. Oh, I didn't put the landing legs out. The landing legs are retracted. This might already be a disaster. Well, it's not a disaster yet. Let's put on the brakes and the legs out. Great. That's a good start. Now, control from here. And let's pop. Well, I can take the brakes off. I need to remember to set the reaction wheels to SAS only. And then we can drive around. Autonomous little rover. Right? And then we hit our brakes. The braking power will also be reduced on Mun. So we could use that scanner. We can bring this back around. Right? And then we arm it. And then we go boink. And then we can close it all up. Right? Fold it back up. And then in theory, we'll just drive back on over to the ship. Right? Here, we're actually going to, how do I get it retracted? The, this hydraulic cylinder has a target extension. So I can move that. And the target angle on my hinges can be moved. So that's how I'm moving that particular item. So then I can go up the hill. Oh, I gotta decrease the traverse rate on these, just to make sure that I don't accidentally go too fast. So then I'm just gonna, oh, I can't set that as my target. Oh, there we go. There's my target, right? I'm gonna turn on SAS. Ooh, I don't have, I understand how I can fix that. I don't know if I need to fix that. Anyways, then I hit my brakes, right? And I get myself all nice and lined up. Right? And then I'm gonna arm this. I'm gonna, oops, I want the other one. I'm gonna bring this forward, right? Like that. Then I can wheel myself forward a little. We get nice and close, right? And then can very gently line it up. Get real close. And then if I just extend this, we linked back up. Great. And that's how I will transfer my Kerbins, my tourists, back into the ship. And then I can simply release. That bounce on the ship was a little unpleasant, so I will probably load all of the tourists into the ship using both of the rovers, and then detach the rovers one at a time. So this is good progress, but I don't have a fairing. I don't have a fairing for this, which means I'm gonna have some odd things happen. But honestly, we are going to worry about that next time, because we've been streaming for more than 2 hours right now. I think I've ignored the BuddyBot twice, so I'm gonna wrap up and go take care of some of the other things that I have to do. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, but I'm gonna go. Thanks. Bye.